Did you know women represent just 3% of Fortune 500 CEOs and less than 15% of corporate executives at top companies worldwide? Have you wondered what the secrets are to getting into the top ranks, whether in the private or public sector? Do you want to figure out how to stop being held back in your career or passed over for promotion? Then you're in the right place. Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. I have decades of experience in the military, the federal government, and corporate America. And my mission is to help women succeed and tap into their full potential. I want to reach 1 million+ women around the world to become the leaders they are meant to be. So if you want to move into a management or executive level position, or maybe you are a female veteran transitioning out of the military into business entrepreneurship, then reach out to the Executive Women's Success Institute at 301-693-3284. Let us get you on the fast track to success. Hello, and welcome to the Success for Women show, where you can view us on Pod TV. I am Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, your host, and my mission is to help women accelerate the path to success. Well, today's topic is hair and health care, and my guest is Miss Debbie Williams. Let me just tell you a little bit about Debbie Williams. Debbie is the CEO and founder of Ask Debbie Changing Faces Hair Clinic. Debbie is a hair loss practitioner, board certified nutritionist, educator, health and wellness coach, and author. Motivated by her passion for hair and scalp disorders, Debbie has expanded her expertise to nutrition and wellness for the whole body. She helps women and men who struggle not only with hair loss and issues with their scalp, but also with concerns about their overall health by providing education and clinical services to help them. So I'd like to bring on my guest, Ms. Debbie Williams. Hi, and welcome to the Successful Women Show. It's excited to have you here.
I'm glad to be here today.
Well, I always start off by giving my audience and telling them about, giving them the standard bio on my guest. But then I always like to ask the guest to tell me or tell the audience what you want us to know about Debbie Williams.
Well, what I want people to know about me is that I'm very passionate about helping people and saving lives. And I think this is why my journey is where I am. It went from me being a hairstylist standing behind a chair to now promoting and educating women and men on on being more health conscious and parts of their bodies that many of us had no idea plays a major role in our health. And so there's a lot of things that many of us, including myself, didn't know about health that I share. And I say I take it back to nature because the way our bodies are made and the way God made the body, we need nature. We need fruits and vegetables from the ground to heal us. Food is medicine. So this is what I share on how we can get back to nature and how we heal our bodies.
Wow, that is awesome. A lot of women, especially, have issues with their hair, and so that is, I know something. We've had it's been in news, especially with the alopecia, Jada Pinkett, and all that with the alopecia. That's
Yes.
kind of brought that to the forefront and all of that. Do you work with have a lot of women that come to you with that issue at all?
Oh, absolutely. This is actually how I got started. I don't know if you want me to tell my story, but it was all about hair loss. I've been in the hair industry maybe for over 25 years. started out as a hairstylist. I moved from New York. I moved my family to Atlanta, and I built this beautiful salon. And what I always knew that I wanted my salon to be different. Coming from New York and going to different salons, I saw things that I didn't like in regards to professionalism. And if I build a salon, I wanted to make sure that when a customer come in, they'll be serviced on time. There's no talking and chewing and eating over the client, things of that nature. So I built a salon the way that I wanted it to be. And what was happening when I saw someone that was sitting in my chair, and maybe I started to see that the hair was coming out. Maybe I started to see a bald spot was forming. I would always say, hey, I would take another mirror and show them, come look at this mirror. Look at the back of your head. Your hair is thinning. And then I would tell them, go to your doctor. Tell your doctor that something's going on. And they would always look at me and go, and because my face would always be so serious. And they would go and they would always come back and say, Debbie, I went to the doctor, but the doctor said that I'm fine. And over the time, Dr. Madeline, it frustrated me because I would say, there's something going on in your body. What do you mean the doctor said you were fine? Did the doctor take blood? Did the doctor take urine? What other tests did the doctor do? And they would say, yeah, he said I was fine. My blood looks great. And so I think it was over years of hearing this back and forth when I saw someone come in with hair loss problems that I decided I wanted to take matters into my own hands. And that's when I decided to step from behind the chair and I went to start studying trichology. I wanted to take my career to the next level because I said, I already had a salon that was built very different than your typical salon. I said, you know what? I'm going to be that salon that when you sit in my chair, now I can tell you why you have this hair loss. And so that's how my journey began. And it was a long one. Trichology takes years to learn and study. Trichology is the study of hair and scalp disorders. And I did that for years. But even in my journey of learning trichology, it didn't give me enough. I am a person, I'm very analytical. And so you have to I have to break it down. I need to know the why of everything. I'm not that person that you can just tell me, well, this is it. Because I'm going to say why. I need you to break it down. As a child, I was that kid, the toy part, because I needed to know how it works. And trichology didn't give me enough of the why. So for an example, I would say, well, why does this person have psoriasis? And they would say, well, it's probably genetics. It's in the DNA. That's not enough for me. So then I would say, well, why is it in the DNA? And nobody could give me that answer. So that's when I decided, okay, if I'm going to help somebody who's coming into my salon with hair loss, I need to be able to give them more than just take this lotion, potion, or cream. And my journey began, and at one point I thought I wanted to be a medical doctor. And that was a short stint because I realized that as a Western medicine doctor, I would have to write prescription drugs. And I also realized that as a Western medicine doctor, I wouldn't be getting to the root cause. And so I decided my journey took another path and it led me down to the holistic and naturopathic industry. And that's where I got my why answered. That's where I found my mentors and some of the best doctors, holistic and naturopathic doctors in the world who trained me and took me by the hand and helped me become who I am today.
Wow. That is interesting because especially as women, we definitely um, just love our hair. So when we start having issues with it, a lot of times we don't know why. It could be stress related. I know that it could be from medication, different things like that. But a lot of times, you just women just kind of a lot of times they may just accept it and just hey, well, this is what's happening and I don't know what to do about it, so I guess I'll just you know put a wig on or whatever they feel that they need to do and just keep it moving. So it's always good to be able to kind of understand the underlying cause of
Yes.
what
Yes.
be happening. And like I said, I know we've gotten a lot of issues in the media about, especially like I said about the alopecia. And I think a lot of times that's the one that I hear about all the time with women with the alopecia, especially I think Black females experience that a lot. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I do see that a lot with Black females having that particular issue.
Can I,
Do,
can I,
go ahead. Yeah.
I wanted to address this before we move on to something else with Black women and alopecia, and it is a big deal. And I will say 95% of our hair loss issues, it's an internal issue. 5% is something that we've done. Weaves, braids, locks, color, bleaching our hair. That's only that 5%. But 95%, Dr. Madeline, it is actually an internal problem. And that internal problem in most instances is a nutritional deficiency. And that's what after I've learned this and the science came together, because I do believe in science and I do believe in research. And after I did all the science and it all came back, the pieces to the puzzle finally connected and made sense. It was my job. I said, I have to share this with the world, or whoever will listen, is that most of our bodies are nutritionally deficient. And then I learned more. And, when we go through the story, I can tell you how we've become to this point of becoming nutritionally deficient. So that hair loss that the majority of people are experiencing, whether it's a man or a woman, that's just a symptom that your body is telling you something is wrong. Our body talks to us and our body tells us when something is wrong. Pain is the body's way of saying, I'm having a problem. But we've been trained to disregard the issue and just treat the pain. But you understand, as long as we're treating the pain, we're not treating the problem. And so what will happen is over years, that hair loss, because we're not treating the rooted problem, will become from a dime size to a quarter size to this big to maybe you don't have any hair top anymore. And that is because we never addressed the focus. So it was my job and my heart, my love and my passion that I needed to let people know. The main reason is because, like you said in the beginning, we love our hair. Our hair is what we call crowning glory. And when we start to lose hair, and this is what I saw in the salon, when someone starts to lose hair, it does something to your confidence level. It does something to your self-esteem. Depression can sit in, and it changes the body, mind, and soul. And so I felt, well, I need people to understand no lotion, potion, or cream you buy is going to fix the problem. We got to see what's going on internally. And once we can address that, because the body can heal itself, once we learn what's going on, then those hair loss problems, those symptoms will help itself to recover.
You are absolutely correct about that, because I know a friend of mine, she has had her issue when you said about a lot of times losing it, especially at the top. She has been so frustrated with that. Sometimes it really hurts my heart just to hear her, because she's so, disgusted and aggravated with it. But she feels it's the medication she's taking that has caused this. And so I don't think that she actually went to have the hair loss checked. She just assumed that it's the medication, that she's been taking.
Medication does it also. Medication, and that's one of the side effects of many medications. And unfortunately, our doctors aren't telling you, well, if you take this medication, there's a chance that you might lose hair. But the medication, and how does the medication tie into it? It goes back to our liver. Our liver is one of the hardest working organs in our body. Our liver has about 500 jobs that it has to do for us every day. And one of that is breaking down nutrients and breaking down foods and things that we put in our body. Medication is one of them. Our liver can't break down this medication. And so when the liver, which I call the liver our sanitation truck, because it picks up all the garbage and stuff we have in our body, but it also knows how to rid the body of it. Right. If your liver becomes overburdened, now your liver can't dispose of this garbage. And so now your body has this garbage. In return, you're building up the medication, you're building up toxins, you're building all these things. So yes, she is right. Medication is probably one of the factors. But prior to the medication, what was going on in her body that the doctors felt they needed to give her the medication? No one, our Western medicine doctors, they don't check for nutrients. They're not looking at your calcium and magnesium and your phosphorus. They may check your iron, but our minerals, Dr. Madeline, is we can't survive without it. It's our fuel. And we say in our industry that the minerals basically is the spark plugs to our life. We always use analogies like a car. So for an example, a car has an engine, and a car, even if it's a brand new car coming off a showroom floor, it can't run if it doesn't have fuel, gas. It's the same with our body. Our body is that engine, and the fuel that we need to ignite our body are those minerals, that magnesium, that calcium, that iron, that copper, that zinc. And these are the things that our Western medicine doctors aren't checking. They're running a blood test, They want to look and see if it's on blood, but I would love for them to start looking at the minerals, because our minerals tell the story of our life.
Wow. That is so interesting. And and see, I'm one of those people when I go to the doctor and he checked me out and all of this, and he always asks me, "Or you want to take this shot, or you want to take that shot?" But I just went, as a matter of fact, earlier this week, and I told him that I would probably take the booster, the COVID booster, the second one, and but then he came out with, apparently there's another one. He says, "Oh, well, I would recommend you take this one here." And I'm thinking, well, I've never heard of that one. I said, I need
Right.
literature for that so that I can read up on it. And, because I like to know what the side effects are. What is this going to
Absolutely.
do? How is it going to affect my body? And I said, no. He said, because he was like, well, you can get it today while you're here. Like, no, not getting it today. Never heard of it, for one thing. I need to know what it is. But after I got the literature on it from him, and after reading about it, it's like, no, I'm not taking that. I'm just not going to take it because I don't feel that. And not to say that I can't get, COVID or what have you. Haven't had it so far. Have not been, exposed to it to the point where I've needed to do anything other than what I'm doing. But I
Right.
don't feel like I need to take that new medication, whatever the vaccine. He says it's a booster. Like I said, I had never heard of it. So my answer to that one is no. I'm not. I'm not taking it.
No, thank you. Absolutely.
Like I said, never even heard. He just. I mean, sometimes you hear stuff on the news. Hey, there's a new one out, but I haven't even heard that one.
You
Announced
haven't
on
even
the.
heard of it. Yeah, it's not enough research done on it. We always want to research, but I love what you said. You always want to ask your doctor, what are the side effects? Because if you don't ask, they're not going to
And
just come out and say, hey, these are the side effects. And
and for me, I always listen. I try to listen to my body because I've never been a person that have had a lot of illnesses or what have you. And the first time I've even was even put in the hospital was when I was in the military, and they gave me the flu shot. The military gives you all kind of shots, but it was the flu shot that put me in the hospital for 3 days. My temperature went up to 102, and I was in the hospital for 3 days. So I have never taken the flu shot again. And what the doctor told me while I was there, he said the reason why my body reacted to it like that is because I had nothing in me that, so when they injected that, it's actually the virus or whatever in
yeah,
me. He said
your
it's
immune
so
system.
my body went into overload. And
Yeah.
that's why that happened to me, because I had never, like I said, I was not on any medications. I had never been in the hospital, been ill, had to take anything. And when they did
Yes.
that, that's what happened. So now I don't take the flu shot anymore, and so far it's okay because I've never needed to take it. So, but and not saying that people shouldn't, but like you say, they should research and they should ask the doctor, well, what
Always.
side effects are, at least research it for yourself. I know our trainer, he's one of those people. He does a whole lot of research. It's always like when he tells you about something, it's because he's done an extensive
Mhm.
amount of research on it. He
That's
can tell
me.
you exactly what it's for and what it will
Mhm.
do for your body and how it will help you. I mean, even to the point where he could tell you what foods will help tighten your skin and all this kind of stuff. I mean, that's the person that really does research, and but also he tells you should do your own research too,
I
and
do.
I believe that wholeheartedly. Wow, I mean, this is so interesting. So tell me, um, what is the one thing that has always stuck with you as you built your business, though?
The one thing that has always stuck with me actually is to always be real, always be genuine, always be transparent.
Hmm.
Because I know that I'm dealing with individuals, and just like with a doctor, you want that person to trust you. And if you're transparent and you're genuine, then you know that people will feel that. They know when you are really who you say you are. So I just never wanted to follow someone else. I've always been a leader, in regards to it, or what you would say is show by example. And so these are the things that I've always done. And you know, my business, I've been in this business for a long time, and I've learned a lot because I would say I really bootstrapped this business to where it is now. And I look back at it and I'm really proud of the years that it took me to get here. It might have taken me a while, but I feel that I'm where I'm supposed to be at the right time. Even though I've been in this industry for a while. So always be true to myself and be genuine and just be transparent, because if it's meant for you, it's going to be there for you. But if you're trying to be somebody you're not going to get wherever you need to be until you can be who you are supposed to be.
Absolutely. Now, I did want to backtrack a little bit because I recall when you were telling us about you doing your research and all of that and the hair. I want to go back to the hair. Um, I noticed that you have the braids. From what I'm seeing, it looks like you have braids, right?
Yeah.
Um, what do you say to women? Because I know you did mention that sometimes, I think you said 5% of some of the hair loss is due to the weaves and the braids and different things like
Yes.
that. Tell us a little bit about that and how they can maybe keep their hair safe if they just feel like they have to do the braids, do the weaves and all of that.
So let's talk about braids for an instance for a while, because I do have braids. I wear braids a lot. My hair is very curly. At one point in time, I rocked a short haircut, and that was my thing. It was short hair, don't care. But as my business is getting busier, I realized that okay, my short hair, I had to cut it every 7 to 10 days. I literally would cut my own hairstyle. I didn't have anybody do my hair but me, because I didn't like a lot of people in my hair. But
Mhm.
when I started to let my hair grow out, that was the only reason why I originally had did the braids. It was like, okay, it's about to go through an ugly stage, because if you're wearing a short pixie cut, now it's growing out, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. So I put my hair in braids. But what I always done, because I used to wear braids back and forth like on vacation, you can start to lose your hair if you leave these braids in for too long. So hair is one of the fastest growing cells in our body, second to bone marrow. So that hair grows out. You can see the hair is growing from the root. So when that hair starts to grow out on a braid, that means it's time to get that hair redone. So for me, I get my hair redone, my braids redone probably every 3 weeks. And
Okay.
the reason for that is once that new hair starts to grow out, this
Mhm.
extension hair or synthetic hair that's on it will weigh down that newly grown out root hair, which will make that new, it's like a baby. It's fine, it's new, it's not strong yet. So when you're weighing it down with hairs and locks and other things, you will break the hair from the root. Its hair is very strong, but I see people leave their braids in for 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 months. You're going to have a lot of breakage when you do that. So there's nothing wrong with braids. Braids goes back thousands of years in our culture from wearing it, but it's how you maintain it, how you take care of it. So
Right.
every few weeks, I'm taking these out, and I've had people go, "Well, I can't afford it." Then fine, then you still need
Yeah.
to take it out in a few weeks and maybe do something else. The other thing that's very important for hair is really not the hair, it's the scalp. The most important part to healthy hair, it's not the hair, it's the scalp. And everyone has overlooked the scalp for everything. And that's why it's been about maybe 8 years now. I developed a hair care line, but it's
Mhm.
really a scalp care line, because the line that I developed, it's not for style. You can't get no fancy, cute little styles out of my hair products. My hair products was developed to feed the follicle. Because as long as the follicle is getting the nutrients, like we talked about in the beginning, this is all about nutrients for the body. Hair, skin, nails, everything thrives and lives off of minerals and nutrients. And so the follicle needs to get calcium, magnesium, sodium, iron, copper, zinc, selenium. So all this is what the follicle needs. And underneath the follicle is actually where blood is bringing the nutrients to the follicle. So as long as you are feeding your scalp, or I should say, feeding your follicle, you are giving your hair a winning chance to stay strong and healthy. But what happens is when we are in these, what we call protective styles, no one is thinking about taking care of this scalp. I always tell people, picture your scalp like a plant. If you have a plant in your home, do you water the plant or do you water the soil? And so the scalp is the soil, the hair is the plant. So if the soil is good and the soil is watered, then the plant will grow from the root. The plant is not growing from the outside, what we see on the, it's the root. So if more people look at their hair like this, like the plant in the soil, then they'll have more chance of the hair growing. So that's what I would say. When we have protective styles, please focus on feeding your scalp, and no heavy products like products that has a lot of mineral oils or petroleum. They clog the follicle.
Yes.
They're clogging it up. Anything that's clogged up doesn't allow oxygen, doesn't allow it to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
So you need something that's going to feed it. So back to the hair care line. When I developed it, and I studied chemistry for a while for hair. And I thought I was going to be a chemist to help people develop their hair care line. But I decided, yeah, I just wanted to do it for my own self. And so there's in every product line that I have, there's specific minerals that are there in that product to feed your scalp, because actually hair grows from the inside out. The hair on our head is dead. Hair is a living cell internally. So what you eat actually is how you feed the hair. But when you can provide the follicle, now you're giving it a double dose. You're getting it from here and you're getting it from here. Mm-hmm. So I hope that helps.
And I understand what you're saying, because I have sister locks, and my beautician has always told me, like you were saying about, don't put any oils on my scalp. She literally prepares whatever it is, she mixes and gives to me in a spray bottle, and that is the only thing that I use on my scalp. And because she said, one of the things she said was that you don't need to put a whole lot of oil on your scalp anyway, because she said your scalp will make oil. That's what she told me when she first did, when I first got my sister lock. So, and I just followed her instructions, and I tell you what, I haven't had any issues with them, and they grow like wildfire. So sometimes it's like, okay, I need to. I've only had them cut once, but sometimes it's like, okay, maybe I need to go get this cut again. But I take what you put on your scalp and what you put inside your body. Definitely, what you put in your body will definitely makes sense as to the nutrients to your hair. So tell us too, what do you credit for your success? I mean, you've gone from being a cosmetologist to hair care to health care. What do you credit? What do you credit for your success?
At first, Jehovah God, because He is giving me the power to see what people need. I think what I've done in a sense is, like I said, when I talked about depression, I saw a lot of people with hair loss problems. I see the depression. I see the anxiety. I see the self-worthiness just from hair. I've had clients that their husband has never even seen their scalp because they're bald in certain areas, and it bothers them. And I've always shared with them, this is your spouse, he should share everything. Why? Don't be afraid to show him that you have a bald spot or that you're completely bald with this wig. So, my thing is, I give credit to God because He's given me the strength to speak out. And I'll talk about that in a moment. As in the holistic world, there was a time that we couldn't speak out, because we were always afraid if we say the wrong thing, then we'll be banned. But He's given me the courage to share that our hair problems is our health problem. So let's start there. That's not a secret anymore. And more people need to understand, if you love your hair, because we do, whether we wear it in a wig or braids or whatever, we love our hair. And because it plays a major role in our everyday life, we need to know, if we want to keep this hair, then we have to improve on our health. So God first. And the second I'm going to say is my dad. My dad passed a few years, and he's a Southern man. I was born and raised in New York City, but my parents are from South Carolina. And my dad raised me and my sisters to take no mess, I guess I would say. He was a no nonsense man. And
Mm-hmm.
I realized that if I was going to go into business, that
Mm-hmm.
there were going to be obstacles in my way. And I always knew I'm going to either sink or swim. And
Right.
I'm not the best swimmer, and I refuse to sink.
I
So
know that's right.
my dad was the other person who gave me, told me, you can do and you can be anything you want to be. And so this is how I am, and this is what I've taught my children. Now I have my grandson, and he's 7, and I'm sharing the same thing. I want to talk to him now about making changes, changing the world, being a better person. Um, it matters, because when I look at life itself, we there's some people out there, and I want him to be one of them. So those are the two that changed my life.
Wow. Absolutely incredible. We are listening right now to Debbie Williams. She's talking to us about hair care and also health care. And so we are going to take a break right now and then come back and get some more of her great nuggets and words of wisdom on how to care for our hair and also care for our health. Be right back.
The Black Business Expo is changing my life. This year, they are giving away laptops and even $5,000 in cash to students just like me. I'm Alexis, and I want to go to college to fulfill my dream of becoming an entrepreneur. Help the Black Business Expo going to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com and also becoming a vendor, a sponsor, or donating.
Hi, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, host of the Successful Women Show, which airs every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our mission is to help women accelerate the path to success. Women in the workplace, women in business, and women who aspire to become business owners, live their dreams, and reach their goals. So join us Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hello and welcome back to the Successful Women Show. We are viewing right now Ms. Debbie Williams. She is talking to us about our hair and our health. And she has been giving us some great tips on what we can do and how we can do it, as far as making sure that we put the right things in our body and the right things on our scalp as it pertains to making sure that our hair will stay healthy. So again, welcome back to the show. Um, you were telling us when we left, we were still talking about the healthcare and the scalp and how we can, take care of our scalp. Is there, um, I know that you have your own products. Is there one particular product that you would like to recommend for those that do the braids, or even those that may do the weaves. What would you say would be the best product that they can use on their scalp? Because especially if they have the weaves, I know that can, like you say, that can dry the hair out and different things like that. The braids can dry your hair out. What's a good product that they can put in that will help I guess, keep it moisturized, keep the hair healthy?
Well, I don't know if you talk about one of my personal ones or just a product as a whole. Because
Well, actually, yeah, one of yours that you want to recommend. Yes.
well, one of my products, like I said, when I developed it, my whole purpose of developing the product was to feed the scalp the nutrients that it's getting. One thing I want to say is many of us are nutrient deficient and don't know it. So when we're feeding the scalp, or I should say, there are specific minerals that the scalp needs to fresh. So I developed a coffee product. Many people don't know the extent that coffee, which everyone knows is a stimulant, but coffee stimulates blood flow to the scalp. So I have a whole coffee line. I have one called the coffee, it's called Caffeine HRT. HRT stands for Hair Repairing Treatment System. And this particular oil, the main ingredient is pure coffee. Because when you take it, and the reason why I did it it's an oil in a very light oil in a dropper, so that when we're in our braids, you can take the bottle and just drop a few drops into the scalp and moisturize it in. What that is going to do is that is going to stimulate the cells, stimulate blood flow. How our hair works, it's like this. How our body works. Blood is the transporter, and when we eat, blood transports nutrients to all of the organs, our liver, our kidneys, our heart, our brain, our pancreas. Blood also transports nutrients to the scalp. But usually unfortunately, the scalp gets what's left over. So since the scalp gets what's left over after you've eaten and blood is transported all nutrients to the main organs, the reason why I developed this is, I said, because I know most of the time our follicles is getting what's left over, especially if our body is already mineral deficient. Why not make an oil now that can get it from there? Because if we're dropping it onto the scalp, which is being fed to the follicle. So a caffeine product is great because it stimulates that. Another product, and I developed them too, is anything with aloe vera. Aloe vera is the best friend to our hair. Why? Because it's hydrating. It gives us moisture. And we need that moisture. Like a plant, always consider, if you think of your hair as your scalp as the soil and your hair as the plant, then you know what it needs, because you know that a plant needs water, it needs the moisture, it needs the sunlight, it needs certain things. Treating your hair like that. So basically, the aloe vera has all of the minerals that your body and scalp needs. And it also holds hydration, because 98% of aloe vera is water. So this is why it's able to feed the scalp. And I developed an aloe vera shampoo and conditioner system so that people can get the aloe vera on the top as well as in through to the body. So anything with aloe vera is amazing. Your hair, there's specific minerals that the hair needs. Sulfur is one. Sulfur, and I don't know, you remember back in the day, they had that sulfur 8. Even though it was a grease and it was mineral petroleum, and I think it's still around, they had the right idea or the right approach with the sulfur in it. So any product that has sulfur in it is wonderful. Rosemary products is wonderful. I have a pumpkin oil, but product with pumpkin, because pumpkin has zinc. The body, the hair, and the scalp, for hair to grow, it must have zinc and it must have copper.
Okay. Well, I have a question for you from the chat, actually from a producer. He wanted to know about the sugar habit in our community. He said he was looking at at your website, and that he know that you have a sweet tea addiction, which is nothing but sugar. So, okay, so you tell us about that. Okay, I guess he's stumbled on your secret.
Yeah. Okay. So I, as a nutritionist and a holistic practitioner, I try to hit all aspects of our health. And many of us, when we're sick, we don't, or we have pains, we don't know what the cause is. But I'm here to tell you, the two causes are normally a nutritional deficiency or gut issues. But sugar is one of those. So many people have a sugar addiction and don't know it. And the science shows that sugar is more addictive than heroin, meth, and cocaine. So when somebody walks into my practice and they're like, oh, I'm overweight, I'm dealing with fatigue, I'm losing my hair, I have acne, they have all these different things, I'll go, the first thing, because every doctor should always ask, the first question should be, so what are you eating? What's in your diet? And, you know, usually out here, they eat a lot of junk, they eat a lot of sugar foods. So I decided to put together a program. I have 3 different ones. One where it's called I'm going to give you 7 days to kick your sugar habit. Because when we're trying to heal our body, the first thing, like I said, sugar is addictive like a drug. We got to kick the addiction first before I can start working on detoxifying you, before I can work on your gut. We got to kick the addiction. Because if we don't kick the addiction, everything else that I'm trying to do, it's not going to happen because you have an addiction. My program where I'm sharing with you how to kick the sugar habit. Sugar causes brain fog. Sugar causes, and we're talking added sugar here. We're not talking about regular natural sugar because our bodies need natural sugar. Sugar is our fuel. But we're talking about the added sugar that's hidden in our cereals, our yogurts, and all the foods. It was a university study of California stated that 74% packaged foods added sugar in it, unnecessary added sugar. So many are addicted and don't know it because sugar is hidden in our foods. So if the producer said he's got to have that iced tea every day, then it's likely he may have that addiction. He may be addicted. So there's certain signs you have to, in the morning, if you need to get that coffee or that iced tea to get your day. In the afternoon, if you have to have something sweet, or when you're stressed, if you're stressed eating and you feel like a piece of chocolate or something is going to do it for you. Those are the signs that your body is now loaded down with sugar. But the culprit actually is, most cases, it's bad bacteria. So our body has good bacteria and bad bacteria, which is called the microbiome. And in this microbiome, community microorganisms that live within our body, trillions of them. There are many that feed off of sugar. And because our gut system is connected to our brain, that bad bacteria sends a signal out to the brain saying, I need more sugar. I need more sugar. So you don't know that. No, it's a craving to you, and you just think, oh, I'm in the mood for some chocolate chip cookies. It actually is the bad bugs in your body making you crave sugar. So, and sugar is one of the worst things for our bodies, our health, diabetes, obesity, our immune system, inflammation, all of those things. So again, the reason why I developed the Kick Your Sugar Habit program is because many people, they want their health back. They want to eat good. They want to grow their hair back. But if you're addicted to sugar, I got to get you past that first before we can start any other programs.
Wow. Okay, you done stepped on a lot of toes out there now.
I know.
You have stepped on a lot of toes. Look, to include mine, okay? But I did want to mention to you what you talked about when you talked about the hair and the coffee. It brought me back to my childhood because my grandmother, when she would comb our hair, she used to put coffee in our hair. And I remember why are you putting this coffee in my hair? It's but that's how whenever she would comb our hair, she would put coffee in our hair. And so I had forgotten about that until you mentioned, about the coffee. But I guess it was something back then that they did. I don't know if she knew the benefits of it or what, but she sure did put coffee in.
She did.
Yeah. Wow.
That's why I say we're taking it back to nature. Think about this for a moment. Our generations, years of generations, what did they do when we were sick or when something was wrong? Our families would go in the backyard, pull something from the ground, take a bark off a tree, mix something up, and we were better. And so, and that's my theme of taking back to nature. coffee. It's natural. It's the coffee bean. And my family, we never did any coffee here. I found out about coffee through science and research. The
Wow.
benefits of coffee for the skin. I even researched that coffee, it works very well for eczema. So my 7-year-old grandson, he has eczema across his forehead, and I didn't know what to do for him. And I decided I'm going to put this coffee on my forehead. I did that coffee every morning for 2 weeks straight, and I'm here to tell you, from those big white spots that he had for about 3 years, they're all gone, and they were gone out of a couple of weeks. From the enzymes, everything in coffee helped clear up his eczema. So now I'm even promoting, we changed the label to say that it's a caffeine elixir, hair and skin elixir, because now there's research out there showing how coffee helps with eczema. And it also, one of the big things I just learned, it is a natural sunscreen. And so I've been promoting it this summer as a natural sunscreen. We need sunscreen no matter what color we are. And most of us African-American people didn't think we need sunscreen, but we need it just as much. So I've been promoting that, rub this coffee on to protect you from the sun's UV rays.
Yeah, I definitely use it because I like to swim, and I definitely when I'm out there in that sun and in the pool, because you're gonna get the sunburn and all of that. I definitely use it. Wow. Again, my producer is just chiming in here. He's like, he said he also puts salt on his watermelon, cucumber, and tomato.
Cravings.
And
that's a salt craving.
Yeah, I mean, I do that. One of the things that I'll put salt on grapefruit is because I don't like the tart taste. So I'll put a little salt on the grapefruit. And I've never tried it. I have once, I think, maybe once or twice on watermelon. I don't really eat watermelon that much, but I have tried salt on watermelon. But it does, and I remember getting some oranges one time, and they just weren't sweet to me. And I put a little salt on that, and to me, it gives it a different, taste. And I'm not a big salt eater because I don't add. The only thing that I will add salt to is grits. If there's no salt in the grits, I will know it because I will add salt to that. But if I'm just eating regular or somewhere, whatever, I don't add. Some people start adding salt before they even taste the food. I don't do that, but I do. I will put salt on like grapefruit or something like that because I don't like the tart taste. Yeah, that's sour.
Well, I will just say most people who have a craving for soft foods or a craving for sweets, it's usually because of their gut. It's gut health issues. Like I said, it's the bad bug calling out saying, I need something salty. I need something sweet. And you're like, oh, I got to give me something sweet. I need something salty. And so more people need to learn more about their gut health because it's usually your body has an overload of some of the bad bacteria it has taken over. And that's easy to do because if we've ever had antibiotics in our life, antibiotics, its job was to kill the infection, but it also kills off all of our good bacteria. So our bodies, many of us have more of the bad bacteria that's flourishing. And this is how we wind up with a lot of health issues. Loss is one of them from the gut. So in my practice, I do a gut test. I do a hair mineral analysis. That's a test where I take samples of your hair. I work with a doctor out in Texas, and your hair tells the story of your life. Taking samples of your hair, I'll be able to tell you exactly what minerals you're deficient in and what minerals you have an excessive amount in.
Yeah, I saw you had that test on your you could take that test on your website. I did see that. Another thing, let's see. He said he had a strange reaction to seafood last week, and he had never had an allergy in his life, but developed one a week, and he developed one a week and a half ago. And so he wanted you, maybe if you could share something about your thoughts on allergies. Yeah.
That's all the gut and nutritional deficiencies. So when we have an allergy there's 3 minerals that's usually deficient if there's an allergy. So we're talking food allergies, we're talking allergies, seasonal allergies, it's usually a deficiency of potassium, a deficiency of sodium, and a deficiency of manganese. All three of those minerals will cause you to eventually have an allergy of some sort. So if he's never had an allergy to a seafood and now all of a sudden he has, the first thing I would say is gut health test and check his minerals. Something is out of balance. Our minerals control our hormones. So something is out of balance there in the body. And see, what an allergy is actually, it's your immune system saying, okay, something's wrong here. There's something in here that we don't like. And so the body is reacting to something in the body system that is foreign to them. So that's why we need to see what's going on there.
Well, we have a couple of people in the chat room that's saying that they have a sugar addiction. And also one that says she does the same thing. Sandra, I know this is Sandra Harris. She says she does the same thing by adding salt to watermelon and cucumbers. Now, I've never heard of, I guess, adding it to cucumbers. I have heard it, of adding it to the watermelon, but not the cucumbers. Because I don't eat cucumbers, that much. Maybe that's why. But yeah. That's interesting. But it does, like I said, I know it gives the grapefruit a different. To me, it makes it.
Yeah.
It actually makes it a little sweeter.
I can see that, the bitter and the sweet
pulled together. Mm-hmm. Wow, this has been so interesting.
Honestly, though, a sugar addiction is it's an epidemic here in the United States. It's a really bad epidemic. But one thing I want to say is that honestly, sugar addictions, we have to really blame a lot of it on the food manufacturers. We are now to a point, if something doesn't taste sweet, to us, it doesn't taste good.
Right.
It's an addiction. And what I share with people is that sugar, the added sugar, is hidden in plain sight. And why I say hidden in plain sight, because it's hidden, but it's in plain sight because it's on the label. Right. I want more people to start reading their labels more, and they'll see it. So for an example, and I was just saying this in one of my videos, the American Heart Association says that women in the United States eats 77 grams of sugar a day, when we actually should only be taking 26 grams, which comes out to be 6 teaspoons. But we take 67 grams per day. And for children, it's 81 grams per day. Now, all of this sugar in our children are making them hyper. It's giving anxiety, all of this ADHD and all these things. Sugar is disruptive to the body. It's disruptive to our pancreas, our liver, our kidneys. And all of this extra sugar that we're taking, you don't know it, or you do know it. It is disrupting our bodies. And this is why we wind up with all this inflammation. This is why we wind up with all of these health issues, because of all of this hidden sugar in plain sight. Even our protein bars. Like, I've seen people who they work out but they keep a bunch of protein bars. I remember I had a patient and I said, let me see your protein bar. She swore, yeah, I don't do sugar. And when she took out her protein bar, she was almost in tears because her protein bar had 27 grams of sugar. That one little bar. Yeah. A can of soda has 39 grams. One can of soda has 39 grams. And statistically, the American,
I left sodas.
The American Heart Association
used to get the big bottles, and I'm telling you, within a day or two, I could drink the whole thing just sitting down watching TV or something. I'm constantly drinking. I left the sodas alone completely. Don't drink them at all. Yeah.
So what I did this test where I said to people, stop eating sugar for 7 days and watch what happens. And I'm going to share with you, when you stop eating sugar, if you just watch what you do and stop eating the added sugar for 7 days, first of all, you'll sleep better. You'll have more energy. Your moods and behaviors will be different. Your fatigue will go away. There's so many different things. And after 7 days, usually in my system, so it's not just eating, you have to add in certain foods. If you remember, food is medicine. So the way I do it with specific foods, after 7 days, you have no desire for sugar. I say this because that used to be me. I was a person, had to have cookies, needed ice cream. My house, everybody in my house had their own gallon of ice cream. And, and when I realized later that this sugar when I didn't have it. It was like I was anxious, irritable. That's when I said, okay, yeah, I need to do something about this. So that's when I needed to share with the world. This is what's disrupt our behaviors. All the sugar that they're throwing into these products.
Yeah, you're so right. Again, the producer said some foods that claim to be good are actually horrible, and he said that he heard that V8, which he said he loves, is also loaded with a lot of sodium, and that's another thing. You know, a lot of products you look at, if you look at the back of them, the sodium content is high on it too.
Sodium content.
Yeah, you have to
Yes.
be with that. So, yeah, that's something that I've started doing whenever I look. You know, I'm looking at the back because I want to see how much sodium is in it, because it's like, come on. That's why I said you don't need to add salt to anything, because a lot of times the sodium content is so high until that's it right there. You don't need to add any more salt. Yeah. So we are I mean, this has been so interesting. Love what you have to say. I want to play. I know we have a video of something you have coming up, and then we're going to let you talk about it. So we're going to go ahead and play that your video of which you have coming up. Okay.
You find yourself craving sugary foods or something sweet all of the time? Are you having problems with inflammation, weight gain, anxiety, fatigue, insomnia, acne, hair loss, dry skin, bloating, or digestive issues? If this is you, it could be from having too much added sugar in your diet. Added sugar is disruptive to your health. Moreover, it's more addictive than some of the worst street drugs. Those cravings you get could be signs of an addiction. Added sugar robs your body of nutrients and impairs your brain, gut, and immune system. Now, if this sounds like you and you want to weigh out, join me on September 12th for my 21 Days to Kick Your Sugar Habit program. I will have 21 days to help you lose the cravings and help you to gain back your health. All of the details is in my bio and above this video. I hope to see you there.
Wow, 21 days. Okay, y'all want to kick that sugar habit, that sugar addiction, then you need to be reaching out to her. So tell us, before I let you go, I just want to know if you had one piece of advice that you would want to leave with our viewers, what would that piece of advice be?
If I one piece of advice to leave I got to break it down because I got so much I would like to share with people. The first thing I would love to share with everyone is learn about care, because no one is going to take care of you better than you. We have gotten to a point where we go to a doctor and we'll go, hey, doc, why do I have this pain? Why does my back hurt? Well, he doesn't know. He's just going to run some tests and assume. But if you start learning to read your body, to understand, because our body talks to us. That's what pain is. Pain is the body saying, hey, I'm having an issue. But learning your body. So what I want people to do is, one, I want us to eat better, eating a healthier diet, because food is medicine. This is what God has put it here for. The food that comes from the ground, that's our medicine. So if we learn how to nourish our bodies the right way, then we won't have to ask that doctor all the time, hey, doc, why I got this pain? Why my back hurt? So self-care, that's the first thing. Learn how to take care of yourself first. Not saying you don't not to go to a doctor, but absolutely. But when you walk into that doctor's office, now you're armed with evidence. You know what's going on. So you're like, doc, I got this going on. What you got for me? How are you going to help me? So that's my advice. Let us learn how to take care of our bodies. Let us go back to nature. Let us start going back to eating the foods that for thousands of years is still here. Even though we don't have as many nutrients in our foods anymore because the soil is depleting from our soil, we need to do that. I even feel that many of us need to go back to planting our own gardens. We need to take it back to nature. So that's the best thing I can say. Because if you take it back to nature, you will have a healthier you, a healthier skin, a healthier hair, and a healthier overall being.
Absolutely. So if our viewers wanted to reach out to you and sign up for your program, how can they do so? I know the website is running across the screen, but you can go ahead and also tell us how they can reach out to you.
My team has put so many different things together on how people can reach this program. But the best way I would say to go on my YouTube channel, which is Ask Debbie About Hair. This is the last video I just put up. I just put a video up yesterday that's much longer than what you thought. That was my TikTok. And so find me on YouTube, Ask Debbie About Hair. In the link description, you will find all the details on how you can join the program. It's on September the 12th. And why is it 21 days? Science says it takes 21 days to kick a habit, but I've seen it could go either way. But I chose 21 days because I have so much information. I need 21 days to feed it to you slowly so that you can get it and make it work for you.
Yeah, great. Well, we really appreciate the information that you have provided to us. And we're actually, producer just told me he apparently saw your TikTok, so he's going to load it and we'll definitely play it toward the end as we're, leaving out. So I just want to let everyone know you have been listening to Debbie Williams, and she has been giving you some great information on hair and health care. This has been the Successful Women Show. As you know, we are here every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd like you to make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Also, share this episode. This has been some great information that you received. So make sure you like the episode and that you share the episode. If you'd like to reach out to me, then make sure that you email me at info@exwsi.com. My website is www.exwsi.com. And while you're there, make sure you download my free 3-part video series on 3 things every woman should do to position herself for executive leadership. I also want to make sure that you know about the Black Business Olympics that's coming up September 19th through the 25th. It's going to be from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yes, that entire week, 24/7. The Black Business Olympics is to showcase Black business owners, Black businesses, and thought leaders and corporations during that entire week. It's also a fundraiser for students to obtain scholarships and laptops for school. If you have a student that you know that you would like for them to apply for the scholarship, then you can go to www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. That's www.blackbusinessexpousa.com. Also, I have to tell you, make sure that you watch my TED Talk, my TEDx Talk that's on YouTube. To watch it, put my name in the search box, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis. I'm excited because my TEDx Talk is now at 103,280 views. So I'm excited about that. My goal is to reach 1 million plus women out there. So we are keeping it, pushing it out, moving it out. So make sure that you go watch it till the end. Comment. Would love to have your comments. I reply to all the comments that are out there. Again, you're watching the Successful Women Show. We are here every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am your host, Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, helping women accelerate the path to success. And I just want to tell all of you, I love you to life. Be well and stay safe out there. Thank you again to my guest, Miss Debbie Williams. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'm Dr. Madeline Ann Lewis, President and CEO of the Executive Women's Success Institute. And my genius is helping women accelerate the path to success. You know, I was blessed to have strong women in my life who encouraged, motivated, and pushed me to do my best and to never even think about giving up on my dreams. So I say to women, we must show up to rise up. We have talents and potential, but who will see them if we don't speak up and get noticed? I know that women are a tremendous resource on this planet, and there is nothing more fulfilling than helping a woman tap into her full potential. I do this because I want to be a part of helping as many women as I can to show up, to rise up. I do this because genius is common.